சரி பிபிடி இருந்தா ஷேர் பண்ணுவீங்களா? கேமரா எல்லாம் ஆஃப்ல தானே இருக்கு.
இந்த ஆடியன்ஸ் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு தெரியணுமா? ஆடியன்ஸ் அவங்களுக்கு தெரியணும். அப்ப என்ன பண்ணலாம்?
கேமரா வந்து செட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். எனக்கு ஒரு லிங்க்ல இருந்து கனெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். என்னோட லிங்க் வந்து வரும். வெயிட்டிங் வரும்.
வேற யாராவது
வேற
ஒண்ணு வந்து அவங்க வந்து ஆடியன்ஸ் தெரியணும். அப்படி பண்ணிடலாம். லேப்டாப்ல ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம். அங்க வந்து நம்ம இங்க கேமரா அது வந்து அவங்க மேடம்க்கு தெரியுற மாதிரி அதாவது ஆடியன்ஸ் அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும்.
இல்ல மேடம் என்னோட லிங்க் தான் இங்க வந்துரும். போஸ்ட்ல வேற மொபைல்
சரி ஓகே. நீங்க ஒரு இது பாத்துடலாமா? பாத்துடலாமா யாருக்காவது?
பாத்துருக்கேன்.
அவங்க வர்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி இப்போ ஒரு கிளாஸ் மீரா மேம் அங்க இருக்காங்கல்ல, அங்க வச்சு அவங்க இங்க வர வச்சு பாத்துடலாமா? பாத்துக்கலாம். இதுல வச்சு ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஆடியன்ஸ் தெரியும். அது சாப்பிட்டா
லைவ் போடுறேன். லைவ்
லைவ் லிங்க் வந்து அங்க ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது ஓகே பண்ணலாம்.
சரி இப்போ வந்து ஏதாவது
இல்ல அந்த மீட்டிங்ல அந்த இதுக்கே போறாங்க. சரி பண்ணி அவங்க வர சொல்லலாம்.
எடுத்துட்டு வாங்க. Anything else?
அவங்க கெஸ்ட்டுக்கும் நம்மளோட ஆடியன்ஸ்
ஆமா மேம். ஹரிணிக்கு இருக்கு மேம். எல்லாரும் அந்த ஜூம் மீட்டிங்குள்ள போயிட்டீங்களா?
ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் உட்கார்ந்து எனக்கு தெரியல.
எந்த ஆங்கிள் வச்சா கிடைக்காது.
ஆனா அவங்களுக்கு அந்த இதோ
இது அப்படியே இருக்கு.
ஹலோ.
Good afternoon.
பேசுறாங்களா?
இந்த அதுவும் போட்டுருக்காங்க. ஆனா இப்பதான் போட்டிருக்காங்க 140.
தெரியல. இப்ப சேர் கூட தெரியல. இந்த சேர் கூட தெரியல.
Seven or four. Aishwarya, 30. She got second mark. Seven 1 3. 23. Seven 37. 20 and a half.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Happy afternoon to everyone. Can you all hear me?
20.
Sir, I'm audible.
ஸ்டே பேக் பண்ணு till 4 o'clock நீ இருந்துதான் ஆகணும். அப்படிதான் முன்னாடி ஒரு தடவை நான் சொல்லிட்டு நான் வந்து பாக்கிறதுக்குள்ள எல்லாம் ஓடிட்டீங்க. டாபிக்க சொல்லிட்டேன், கொஸ்டின் சொல்லிட்டேன். நான் இங்க இருந்தாலும் இல்லாட்டினாலும் நான் எல்லாம் இருக்க மாட்டேன். கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் அது இதுன்னு ஒர்க் நிறைய இருக்கு. கீழே கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் நான் இல்லாட்டினாலும் நீங்க உட்காந்து எக்ஸாம் டெஸ்ட் எழுதி கொடுத்துட்டு தான் போகணும். புரியுதா?
YouTube live.
Sir, can you hear me?
Ramya 19. பரவாயில்ல. 736 18. Seven 5 8 7-5.
Sir, can you hear me, sir? Good afternoon, everyone.
Seven, 3-5.
Happy afternoon, sir. Happy afternoon, everyone.
Check பண்ணுங்க. பிரார்த்தனை எங்க? Check பண்ணுங்க. Total மட்டும் check பண்ணுங்க. 16 and a half. 7-3-1. 15 and a half. What about?
எல்லாம் லாகின் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா?
7-1-8. துர்கா தேவி. 14 and a half. Friends check பண்ணுங்க. 7-2-9. 13 and a half. நான் இதுக்கப்புறம் யார்ட்டையும் பேசுறேன். ஒரே ஒரு 10 மார்க் படிச்சாங்க. மார்க் எழுதின ஒரு 10 மார்க் ஒரு 5 மார்க்ஸ் படிச்ச ஒரே கொஸ்டின் கோபாக்கியன் செலக்டிவிட்டி தான் படிச்சிருந்தா அழகா எழுதிருக்கோம். சொன்ன எத்தனைக்கும் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் சொல்லிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நீ படிக்கலன்னா சும்மாவே வந்திருக்கீங்க எல்லாமே. 7-1-7. 12 and a half. 7-4-2. 11 and a half. காலேஜ் பஸ் எல்லாம் வீட்ல சொல்லிருக்க பேரண்ட்ஸ் எந்த எக்ஸ்கியூஸும் கிடையாது. இப்பன்னு கிடையாது. மே 30th வரைக்கும் நீ கம்பல்சரி காலேஜ்ல ஸ்டே பேக் பண்ணி எழுதியாகும். சரிதான். மாடல் எக்ஸாம்ல பாஸ் பண்ணினா நிக்கல. மாடல் எக்ஸாம்ல ஃபெயில் ஆனா இது கண்டினியூ ஆகும். 7-2. அபிஷேகா செக் பண்ணு. 7-4-3. 10. 7-4-7. அவரும் இல்லையா? 8 and a half. 7-2-5. 8 and a half. 7-2-2. 8 and a half. 7-6. 7-34.
Newton.
இல்லையே மொபைல் ஒரு ஃபோன் கிட்ட
Good afternoon. Am I audible? Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Respected Dr. P. Ranjita Kani, Academic Advisor. Respected Dr. R. Jagannathan, President. Respected Mrs. Kokilam Kumanan, Secretary. Respected Dr. Sethu Kumanan, Chairman. Respected Dr. Kanmani Subramaniam, Vice Principal. Respected Dr. Meera Murugesan, Principal in Charge. Very my dear participants, very warm good afternoon from Mother Teresa Women's University. I welcome all the participants for this 3-day international conference on women, emancipation and global career opportunities through higher education. So, I received your invite, and 3 days you had inauguration, now technical session 2, and the theme, it says basically how you can invoke women freedom and how it is possible for the women to have global career opportunity. So obviously what I feel is women freedom is not a new thing. Women got freedom with women has got freedom in ancient days. For example, earlier during Veda period, Maitreyi, she was one of the important scholar, and generally people used to appreciate the mindset of women. And second thing is, after the Vedic period, the limitation were enforced, and during Bharati period, obviously this freedom was given. அடுப்பூதும் பெண்களுக்கு படிப்பதற்கு என்ற விந்தை மனிதர்கள் மாண்டுவிட்டார். So women has to study. So obviously for last 40 to 50 years, women education has become a very, very important Taraka Mantram. So obviously government is providing lots of improvement in women education, and it is giving lots of amenity for women to perform their higher education in a better manner. So earlier days, up to +2, completion of the school education by women has become a normal practice. Now government has given lots of incentives. By completing a UG, a woman will be capable of getting, let us say, 1 talikutangam, 1 gram or 1 pound for their marriage, and amount for their marriage expenses, because parents were telling, if I educate my daughter, where is the money to perform marriage? So obviously government has taken lots of initiative in making the women to come for college education. And you will be knowing gross enrollment ratio of Tamil Nadu is higher than the overall India. We have 52% as a gross enrollment ratio. And what we have is basically, we have 22 as the enrollment ratio in India. So what we need is how we have to improve on the quality of education. And the quality of education will be in a position to give global career opportunity. So this is what is very much needed nowadays. So number one, are we giving the required skill set for the women to pursue higher studies? That is number one. Number two, if you are giving the quality education, how to measure the quality of education? And if the quality of education is very good, the women, are they in a position to go for good jobs? And whether the women are in a position to sustain in the job? These are the few questions I wanted to address. Number one is quality education. See, in science and arts, the education is very, very simple. The reason is number of laboratory experiment and the number of projects the students are expected to complete. It is totally limited to per semester only 1 or 2. But when we see the global standard, irrespective of the subject, a candidate has to do a project. For example, a sociology student has to do a project on stopping of child marriage. Obviously, that person has to go to field, collect the data, and she should understand whether the data is correct or it is a fabricated data. And if it is a correct data, after the data purification with the data analytics tool, he or she should be in a position to classify the data according to certain duration, according to regions, and according to the cultural set, or according to the society background. And finally, they have to come with a fact-finding report of, in this Theni district, in this particular village, in this particular area, in this particular people who are into farming or into another set of work, they have a problem of making the women to get married before they go to college. So before the recommended age, the child is getting married, correct? So then it is possible for the government to look into that particular community, that particular village, that particular district, in order to prevent and give them alternate option for them to go for studies. So here, how a sociology student is in a position to adapt to a topic of data analytics, and how it is possible for her to learn the tool and apply to a socially relevant problem. This is very, very important. That itself will be giving her the career opportunity of becoming NGO. Other problem is basically we need to have a multidisciplinary approach. For example, here in Mother Teresa Women's University, we have got GI tag, and this GI tag is trying to help the farmers in getting more income for hill garlic, because hill garlic has got a medicinal value. And the question here is, how will you identify the farmers who are planting hill garlic? Whether they wanted to continue the same farming, what is the satisfaction of that particular farmer, and if they want to continue, what sort of help they need, what type of recommendation they expect from the government, and what type of support they need from university like us. We have done that survey and we have identified that the farmers are not in a position to continue the cultivation because the amount they spend for making this hill garlic is expensive, and in return, it is not going to give them any income. So we wanted to make this as a case study, and we got GI tag for hill garlic, and we formulated the Farmers Association, and we brought unity, and obviously now the hill garlic price is enhanced, and the farmers are in a position to get back to planting of hill garlic. This is what is the next case study. So what is really happening? We are in a position to penetrate into farmers' life, and we were in a position to identify the problem, and we were in a position to provide a business model for them, and we are in a position to grow the marketing strategy. So obviously, in order to provide a career opportunity, botany person, it should be possible for us to have once again the important topic of artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics. So these three, what is really happening? The machine learning technique will be in a position to provide the learning mechanism of prediction in the future, which particular product will be having the better opportunity, and what to cultivate, and where to stop, how to stop, and what are the potential market-driven approaches, and teach this to the candidates so that they are in a position to do the business with profit. This is what is supposed to be happening. Now, I was talking about the emancipation, that means the freedom for women. Today, I got a WhatsApp news and they were telling the women got freedom with 3 inventors. Can you guess who are those 3 inventors? That lady is telling, thanks to the person who has invented mixie, another person grinder, another person washing machine. All these 3 has made the life of women to come out of the problem of cooking in reduced time and making the dishes without any problem, because when you have a grinder, no problem at all. They are in a position to do this. And I will also include so many gadgets which are helping the women in order to balance their time between their household activities, their office activities, plus their research activities. So what are those things? For example, if you have a gadget that is a smart watch in your hand, it is possible for you to get the details about your health status, and it will tell you whether your vital parameters are correct or it is in a fluctuation or it is deviating from the normal range. Fix up appointment, and now the IoT, Internet of Things, it is penetrating in healthcare, in farming, in cooking, in all the other domains. We will see how it is penetrating. So what I wanted to tell you is, when we have remote healthcare, and obviously whenever it is possible for you to not to visit the doctors, it should be possible for you to have a remote health checkup, and which has become so common in the pandemic period. So obviously it is possible for you to catch hold of the IoT technology for healthcare, so that it is possible for you to go for remote healthcare, and whenever you have real problem. Important thing, when your health is very good, obviously you are free and you are concentrating more on your education and your and second thing is, what is really happening is basically farming. So there are lots of agriculture women candidates in agriculture university. There are so many women candidates who are studying, and all of you know women cannot do things after a certain period. Sir Jaganathan sir. Jaganathan sir. நீங்க உங்களோட மைக்க அன்மியூட் பண்றீங்களா? Because there are lots of noise. நான் பேசுறது யாருக்குமே கேட்கலன்னா நான் நினைக்கிறேன். Am I correct?
இங்க கிளியரா கேக்குறது. நீங்க பேசுறது இங்க கிளியரா
பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த சிஸ்டத்துல இருந்து தான் full noise வருது.
நான் இங்க எல்லாத்தையும் நான் மியூட் பண்ண சொல்றேன். நீங்க பேசுறது கிளியரா கேக்குறது. நீங்க பேசுறது இங்க கிளியரா
Okay.
கேக்குறது ஆடியன்ஸ்க்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும். நான் இப்போ எல்லாத்தையும் நான் இங்க மியூட் பண்ண சொல்லி சொல்றேன். Thank you ma'am.
Okay sir. Sir, நான் வந்து IoT plus other machine learning in the PPT காமிக்கலாமா இல்ல வெறும் ஆடியோ தானா?
இல்ல PPT காமிக்கலாம்.
ஷேர் பண்ணட்டுமா?
You can share PPT. பண்ணலாம்.
நீங்க டிசேபிள் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களே. டிசேபிள் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களே. Who is the host here? Who is the host here?
Sivakama Sundari ma'am.
இல்ல நான் பேசிருக்கேன். அவங்க மத்ததெல்லாம் மியூட் பண்ணுங்க. போஸ்டிங் வந்து சொல்லுங்க, அவங்களே போஸ்டிங். Now you can do your PPT presentation, ma'am. போன்ல சொல்லுமா? அவங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணலாமா? மேடம் இப்ப நீங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு பேசலாம் மேடம். தேங்க்யூ மேம். பிபிடியும் நீங்க காமிக்கலாம். தேங்க்யூ மேம்.
வைதகி மேம் மியூட்ல. ஆமா, அது இங்கே சொல்லட்டுமா இல்ல அங்க சொல்றாரா?
இதை மினிமைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. இது மட்டும்
Sir, am I audible?
Yes. Yes, madam.
Screen தெரியுறதா? Am I sharing the screen? Quality education?
Yes.
Sir, screen share இருக்கா?
PPT share ஆகுது. Screen we are able to visible and உங்க voice clear-ஆ கேக்குது.
Next slide பாக்குறீங்களா?
Yes.
Okay sir.
Next slide தெரியுது.
Okay sir.
உங்க voice clear-ஆ இருக்கு மேடம். Thank you ma'am.
Okay sir, thank you. I wanted to share one important relevant information regarding this women emancipation and global career opportunity, which is being covered instituted by Government of India. That is basically goal number 4, quality education. And in the quality education, we have several important things. Number 1 is free primary and secondary education, equal access to quality pre-primary education, and equal access to affordable technical vocational higher education, and increase the number of people with relevant skills for financial success, and universal literacy and numeracy 4.6, and education for sustainable development and global citizenship, and build and upgrade inclusive and safe schools, expand higher education scholarship for developing countries. These are the basic things which are being covered in quality education. And the goal is basically enrollment should be enhanced, literacy should be enhanced, and early childhood development, enrollment in secondary, enrollment tertiary education should be increased. So basically, the projected distance from reaching the selected trajectory by 2030 at current trends should be definitely greater than 10%. That is what is the goal. And if you see the social equity, equity is different from equality. Equity is giving more leverage for deprived people. And we have social equity, economic viability, sustainable environment protection. These are the 4 important circles. And here, when we see, when you have cross-section of all these things, then only it's possible to have sustainability. Whenever we have equitable, viable, bearable rules, then only the education becomes sustainable. So the key pillars are basically, as you have seen, viability, economic viability, and social equity, environment protection. So to create more sustainable world, individuals, it should be possible to have it should be possible to create more sustainable world, individuals and communities must become sustainability change makers, and for that they require the knowledge, skills, values, and attitude that empower them to contribute to sustainable development. And education has become, therefore, crucial for achievement of sustainable development. So, what exactly higher education institutions are contributing towards actualizing inclusive and quality early childhood care, primary and secondary education is one important thing. And when we see in UNESCO, access to quality education is fragmental, right, to all children, and out of school children is basically 3.2 crores. When they don't even go to school, how it is possible for them to come for higher education. So, rise in G of Indian Constitution and right for children to free and compulsory education, Act 2009. So, this school education has become compulsory. So, here, when you see this, obviously you can see our education is not giving equity six to seven are introduced to science, not as a fun, as a test course, and they are becoming mugging machine. We have brought learning over research. In high school, learning relevant only to college education. Colleges race for placement. Most students end in desk jobs. Innovation is limited to PPTs and career shaped in grids or Excel sheet. So here, if you see, for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same examination. Please climb that key. So this is what is the fair examination, common examination for all types of people, which is totally not going to help at all. And higher education institutions should promote researchers in school and share the finding to wider society. And each and every college should adapt a school and see to that interested students are coming to college for performing experiment along with the professor in a college. The school student should produce a product and they should publish paper, and this particular product index should be taken into account for promotion criteria for the school teacher as well as the college teacher. Now, restructure the curriculum and focus on capacity building, integrate quality. Sir, any problem?
No problem, madam. You can continue.
Integrate quality and inclusionary practices at their institutional policy level. So this is what is basically important. And see the contribution of higher education institution in inclusive and quality technical and professional education is very important. So, which is basically supposed to, yes, we have a major role, production of knowledge about strategic development goals. What is the meaning of strategic development goal? The first goal is here, no poverty, then no hunger, then education, preserving environment, then alternate energy sources. It goes up to 17 such goals. Now we are seeing the goal of education and how that education will be in a position to give the better career opportunity in a global level. So, teaching in line with strategic development goals. So that means if you are teaching environment science, they should be taught about alternate energy sources. How to produce energy through solar energy, wind energy, and ocean energy. How to produce, that means the energy production process. Sir, யாரோ பேசிக்கிட்டே இருக்காங்க. அதுவும் அது இந்த காலேஜோடைய ஹோஸ்டல்ல இருந்து தான் வருது. Dear participant, can you mute your phone, microphone, please? So when we wanted to have environment studies as a science subject, the people should be in a position to understand the challenges in producing energy, what are the alternate ways, and they should be given a practice of producing energy. Then only they will be in a position to become an entrepreneur in producing solar panel in order to produce solar energy, wind tunnel to produce wind energy. Then when we are going to deplete all our natural resources, obviously it is not possible for us to create getting depleted. So the question here is how to sustain the environment and how agriculture is going to be productive. What is going to be the irrigation methodology that is needed for our population to have food in near future, because the statistics says in another 10 years, there will not be any drinking water. And obviously, if the water is not there, there is no irrigation. If there is no irrigation, it is not possible for us to provide food. So there are several drastic, challenging technical answer for real world problems. Technical answer for real world problems. Then only education is going to create the career opportunities. So, transforming curriculum and teaching to prepare new generation to address the global challenges, offering science-based solution to the problem we face, from poverty, that is goal number 1 here, to global cooperation for peace, that is goal number 16 here, to a global dialogue, which is basically networking among the global community. So when we see here, unemployment rate across India in 2021 by maximum education level, if you see, we have Y-axis for education to graduate and higher education, which is 19.4%. And if you see unemployment rate, we have 22%. That means even if a person is graduate, it is not going to give you 100% employment. Still, we have unemployment because of the problem of non-availability of skill set. That means they don't know the strategic development goals and how these goals can be achieved through proper plan, and they don't have skill set for solving these problems. If it is there, then obviously it is possible for them to get a very good job opportunity. So when we see here, such type of converting a salty water in ocean, which is more than 80% throughout the world, into a drinking water, it requires lots of research, how to convert ocean water into a drinking water and use it for drinking purpose as well as for irrigation purpose, and how to have a minimum amount of water in order to have minimum duration in order to have crops. So all these things require very good research, and the number of people getting into research in India, it is only 257.7, whereas the Denmark, South Korea, Sweden, Australia, Japan, Germany, Belgium, UK, they are all far better than us. And obviously what we need is more people should go for research, so that more money is spent for research, more products, more IPR, more patent, more revenue generation models are needed, then obviously we have global career opportunity. When we have such product, people will be in a position to come to India. So, to ensure inclusive and quality technical and professional education, what we need is unbiased selection of faculty members with good skill set, knowledge through open competition. The professional must have skills that combine the social and eco-environment knowledge needed to transform the world of work. Provide more diversified choices to the students and accommodate the needs of the students. So, obviously, your dancer who wanted to pursue is in a position of multiple career choices. They are in a position to fulfill whatever they need for their career upliftment. So the students should be provided with several such choices as selective, some as major, some as technical skill set, and they should be given entrepreneur skill set orientation training, and they should be given opportunity to have their own incubation cell as it is available in IITs and IISc, so that the students can become entrepreneur, innovator, and it should be possible for them to become the global leaders. Teach the candidate in different professions the knowledge of both the nature and social, most importantly, how they interlink with each other. Good practices and training pedagogies. World-class infrastructure is needed for them to get exposed in order to understand what is really happening in global level. So, next thing is contribution of higher education in promoting quality and excellence in higher education. That is, obviously, the literacy rate is 70, employability is only 20. That means why 50% of the people are not in a position to have the employment? Why it has become difficult for them to go for a real challenging job? The reason is they should work in a collaborative fashion, and they should be in a position to build partnership, and they should know what is the outcome-based education. Why they study this subject, after studying this, what exactly they will be knowing, and how this has to be used for society. All these things should be definitely known at the time of teaching and learning. That should get converted into research and innovation, and it should become a professional practice. For that, research informed teaching should be there. That means teachers should be innovators, and they should definitely dirty their hand by doing the experiments, the projects. Once they know, then only they can teach them practically. They should be having new knowledge for applying the practices into different domains, and they should be in a position to make industry-ready graduates. That means teachers should go to industry to understand their requirement. There is no point in teaching 50-year-old programs, because 50 years back, no one knows about internet. They will not be knowing about the distributed computing system and how to control a household machine through a remote area. That means the networking knowledge, the computer knowledge, Internet of Things knowledge, artificial intelligence, how the devices are interconnected and how to work efficiently, smartly, and how the smart working intelligence can be inculcated in teaching, in learning, and in preparing the materials, in understanding the industrial challenges and providing solutions. Yes, sir?
Please proceed, madam.
Okay. The key competencies for higher education, sir, I have only 10 more minutes. I
Sure,
have
ma'am.
another 15 slides. I will
No
try
problem,
to complete it.
No problem, madam.
The key
No problem, madam.
competencies are basically called HEST, that is higher education for sustainable development. That means system thinking competency, the abilities to recognize and understand relationships, understand complex system, think how systems are embedded within different domains and different scales, and to deal with uncertainty. This is first one. System thinking competency. Anticipatory competency, the ability to understand and evaluate multiple futures, possible, probable, and desirable, create one's own vision for the future, to apply the precautionary principle, to assess the consequences of action, and to deal with risk and changes. And normative competency, the ability to understand and reflect on the norms and values that underlie one's action, and to negotiate sustainability values, principle, goals, target in the context of conflicts of interest and trade-off, uncertain knowledge, and contradiction. If higher education is in a position to give the students about the thinking competency, anticipatory competency, normative competency, then the students will be in a position to address any challenges. Another one is transdisciplinary collaboration competency. That means the ability to learn from others and to transcend the traditional boundaries of own discipline or profession, to understand and respect the needs, perspectives and actions of others, empathy, to understand and relate to and be sensitive to others, empathetic leadership, to deal with conflict in a group, and to facilitate collaborative and participatory co-creation and problem solving. This is the transdisciplinary collaboration competency. Critical thinking competency, this is very, very important. The ability to question norms, practices, opinions, establish theory, to reflect on one's values, perception, perspectives, and action. And creativity competency, the ability to combine anticipatory, transdisciplinary, collaborative, and critical thinking competency. Self-awareness competency, to ability to reflect on one's own role in the local community or global society. Integrated problem-solving competency. So, the overarching ability to apply different problem-solving framework to complex sustainability problem and develop viable, inclusive and equitable solution options that promote sustainable development, integrating the able-mentioned competency. For example, we used to solve the problem of optimization using certain methodology that is based on swarm optimization, how ant colony optimization can be used. So with the behavior of certain firefly algorithms, these are all certain optimization methodology. So how these spaces are in a position to manage their resources is being applied for several other optimization problems. So, like this, it should be possible for us to have a method of understanding the solution from one domain and trying to apply this to another domain in order to get a feasible solution is very important. So now, having seen what exactly higher education department has to do for the career development is basically make the student to understand the problem and try to provide solution which is basically needed for that particular environment. Now, when we see the skill development and entrepreneurship, MSDE, is being done by the Ministry, Government of India. It coordinates skill development activities. Then we have NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. This promotes skill development in the country by establishing institutes. Then we have NSDA, National Skill Development Agency, which coordinates the effect of government and private sector. That means everyone is speaking about skill development in order to get global career opportunity. Now, to ensure inclusive, quality, technical, professional education, what we need is overarching institutional activity, mobility and collaboration between institutions, quality criteria for sustainability, lifelong learning, student involvement and overall engagement, societal interaction for strategic development goal relevant to knowledge, from public mediation to skill formation, demands on research for the production of new knowledge for curriculum development. This is becoming important, and activities at faculty and disciplinary level, course development, learning outcome, program development, curriculum development, pedagogical development, skill formation and linkages, student-driven activity, demands on research for transformation of curriculum teaching interaction with society through skill transformation. So all these activities should be done by the student via teachers, and to build a sustainable future, we need energy, creativity, and initiative of the young people around the world. We need institutions that support interaction and cooperation. We may also need new types of discipline to show how social, environment, economic aspect must be linked in ways to protect nature, reduce inequality, secures decent work, leaves no one behind. This is very much important. And what we see is now, when British left us, we had 16% literacy, out of which 9% literacy for female, lesser than 10. That means out of 1 in 11 women population were able to read and write. That means if you have 11 female, only 1 woman can read and write. And 1450 surveys showed 62%. So literacy rate in 2014, we talk about urban, totally we have around 80% literal rate. And out of which female is only 70, male is 84. And that means still 1/3 of the population, it's not literate. And the gross enrollment ratio, though it's 52, and if we see the girls, it's only 27%. So Interesting is non-profit organization CMCA in the survey on gender equality in schools and colleges, it is found that gender discrimination is widespread, it is deep-rooted, and out of 54% of the women agree that the role of women is to take care of children and household. 44% agree that women has no choice to accept violence. That means they have to accept violence. So, highlight this, equal number of girls agree, even educated girls are not internationalizing the stereotype and accepting their given status in society. Education, no way, it is making making them more critical. So this is the sad part of our life. This survey was among urban educated youth. Then just think of millions of youth dropouts and uneducated. So if you see the basic level of education, women has 16%, and advanced level of education, women is having only 31%. So only 1/3 of women is educated. And if you want to have access and equity in higher education, we should have regional gross enrollment ratio disparities and GAI-based GAR disparity, effort at socio-economically disadvantaged groups, which is called SEDGs, especially STs for higher education, efforts to improve gender parity index GPI, especially SEDGs, measures on online ODL education, which is definitely helpful for women to have education, to have better job prospect, and higher education should be done through Indian languages because most of the people, their English is not very good, so that they are not in a position to understand the subject. So this is what is basically the problems. So I will stop at this stage because now it is 3 o'clock. The other recommendations are basically in order to make India as a place with gender parity, Mother Teresa Women's University has got a vision of Sari Nigar Samanam. That means towards equal status. You will be wondering, Sari nalo equal, Nigar nalo equal, Samanam nalo equal. Why 3 times Bharatiya has told Sari Nigar Samanam? The reason is, in spite of all the support, hand-holding, only 1/3 of the women is in a position to come for higher education, that too in the PG level and in the PhD level. And we have only one lady, we were having only one chief minister, one prime minister out of our 75 years of independence. That means women are not in a position to come out of their household activities. They are not in a position to know their rights, and they are not in a position to take risk, and they are not in a position to come for public life because they are thrashed with images and threatened for their livelihood. Because of that, they wanted to be in the safe zone or comfort zone unless and until women come out and participate in politics and in all the other professional, societal leadership position. It is going to be very, very difficult for women to be a global leader. But there are several opportunities nowadays being seen in the last 10 years. Now we have to take all these as a positive sign and keep progressing towards success in their life. I thank College Soka Ikada College for Arts and Science for Women for organizing this international conference. I thank the principal. I thank the president, Dr. Jagannathan, for giving the opportunity. I had visited this college 15 years back. I came to that college and delivered a lecture. I remember that. I'm very, very happy that I'm once again getting associated with this. I wish all the best, and I wish all the women to take up the challenging post and serve the nation to become a world leader in next 25 years, because in the 100th year, in 2047, we should become a world new order. And for that, we have to work a lot, and we have to achieve all our strategic goals. Then it is possible for us to raise and say that though we have huge population, all our population are young population with straightforward goal set, and we have a clean government, and we have hardworking people who are determined in order to make the nation as a leader, as a leading nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dr. Vaidegi Vijay Kumar. We are extremely happy to listen to you. Your inputs have been very comprehensive. And at the end of this conference, we intend to preparing our list of recommendations as panel recommendations to the MHRD ministry. And definitely many of the points that you have raised are very relevant, and we'll be incorporating these things. And that way, your input has been inspiring, and it will be leading a better path to the women upliftment and emancipation. We really thank you. Amidst your enormous work pressure, you have found time to address our children, which comprises of our faculty members, our research scholars, the PhD students, both UG and PG students. Thank you. Nice of you. You had an excellent time with your lecture. Thank you. Nice of you. Have a very good day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Plus one. Okay. Plus one. Patrickila, Meera Muria, she's a principal of the college. Dr. Lavanya. Oh.
யாராவது குட்டி pin இது வச்சிருக்கீங்களா சார்ஜர்?